Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I am your host, Chris. As always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
Hey, that's me.
And John.
Hey.
Important thing to note, second straight week, Sean's on my left.
Hey, I am.
I don't like this.
But it's natural.
Well, I appropriately am on your right.
What is that?
That's true. What does that mean?
That's just
No
code.
one knows what it means.
That's just code.
But it gets the people going.
It does. Gets the juices flowing.
If you're a code developer, it would not take long to break your codes of what you're doing right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hey, we could have, when I did the thing I did, we could have played a Jay-Z and Kanye West song. Something in Paris.
Right? We can't do that.
Nope.
That's not something we can say.
Hey, coming out this week is a movie Chris has already seen. John, are we going to go see it together?
I told you I'd go again.
I know. I think my friend Ladero is wanting to go see it on Sunday.
I don't know. Everybody says, according to the reviews, that this is quite good.
Yeah.
I don't know that I care. I can't make
Why?
myself care. It's Shazam. And he hasn't mattered in 30 years.
That's a lie.
Yeah, seriously.
Kingdom Come, man.
That was
BA.
15 years ago.
What is Kingdom Come? And
Kingdom
It's
Come,
a graphic novel.
Yeah, it was like an idea where it was like this idea where like Superman had basically said, "Screw this, I don't like
So
this
basically
anymore."
what happened is I said 30 years and Chris said, no, 15.
15, bro.
Oh, actually, you said 15. No.
I said 30.
He said 30.
Oh,
Listen to the replay.
And then you said 15. No,
You said 15.
I didn't say 15. I
No,
just said
you
Kingdom
said,
Come.
no, I said he hasn't mattered in 30 years. You said, what about Kingdom Come? I said, 15 years
See?
ago.
So I did not say 15. Ha!
You still,
Lawyered.
I don't know. We need to get the guy from Virginia.
but no, yeah.
We'll tighten this up.
It's like this idea where Superman retires because he's kind of disgusted in the way the world's going because like superheroes start killing people. And the whole entire time, like Shazam, or at the time he was just called Captain Marvel, is kind of in the background being controlled by one of his chief villains, the little mind control one. And him and eventually though Superman comes back and him and those two finally fight. And like he grabs Superman halfway through that fight and just starts saying Shazam about 10 times or something like that and hits him with lightning, which it's magic lightning, which is like Superman's one of his biggest weakness. He almost kills him. Like it's pretty close.
Wait, so you're saying Shazam could kill Superman?
Yes.
He is like, I think if you did a very long fight, Superman would probably always win out. But if like he got the right scenario and he was really truly committed, yeah, and he could probably do it.
You're crushing all of my dreams right now. Superman.
They should have been crushed long ago because the Incredible Hulk can beat Superman.
That's
I
not
don't
true.
know. He couldn't beat
It's
Thanos.
factual.
Factual where?
Yeah, in the MCU, nothing
Yeah.
makes sense.
The Hulk and Superman would never fight because
They did once, didn't they?
I don't know.
they're
Maybe.
DC and
In that
Marvel.
crossover, I thought Superman
Yeah, because
won.
crossovers never happen.
I don't know that because I'm
Stay in your lane, Sean.
I know.
Stay in
Get
your
away
lane.
from the nerds.
Because like it was what, like it was Super versus Hulk, right? And then I thought Batman fought Iron Man, or no?
Dunno.
I'm trying to remember who
Iron Man would destroy
Spider-Man.
Batman.
One time, Batman fought the Predator.
Yes,
It was
you're
called
right. Well, he's
Batman
about to
versus
do-
Predator.
Well, he's about to fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Fight? No. Team
Dude.
up with.
Team up,
yes.
but you know,
Dude.
there'll be that like little part first where they fight, for a second.
True.
It's about to happen.
Yeah, they've teased it up. In the comics.
I like a good tease.
Or no, it's a movie. I can't remember. I don't know.
Right, John?
That's
Chris
for sure.
probably knows.
That is for sure.
Chris number 2.
Not like a good pre to a good tease.
Like a good
yeah.
pre.
I mean, yeah, it is like weird though because Shazam at one point was bigger than Superman.
Sure.
Like
Man.
way back. Like
I've
most
never
people,
seen a Shazam t-shirt.
If you ever want the trivia question,
Never bigger.
He was never bigger.
he was in
He
the
was
40s.
prevalent at one time, but
No.
he was never bigger than Superman.
In the 40s, he sold more comics than Superman. And then
Fact
like,
check.
and then
we were alive
well, I
in
was
the
reading
40s.
this because like, and also I didn't realize this. He had the first superhero movie ever made back in like 1939. I did not know that. So, like, there was a period where he was coming up big, and then basically, I think it's DC kind of sued them because they said he was too close to being Superman, like how powerful he was. And that kind of destroyed the character for a while until they purchased the rights from him, like in the 70s. And then they started trying to bring him back. But by then, general public had kind of moved on, right? Like they were about Superman at that point.
Because Superman
And you'd had Stan Lee come up.
is awesome. Rip Stanley.
But yeah, history.
But yeah, so I'm going to go be checking that movie out this weekend, fellas.
Cool.
John, if you want to go, Ladero loves the IMAX Sunday viewing.
Who's Daryl?
Ladero.
Is that what we're calling him?
Yeah. And my car says, when I say, hey, call Ladero, and then last name or whatever, and she goes, calling La Daryl.
Is his name Ladero, or is that your name for Daryl?
That's my name for Darren.
Yes.
Ladero.
I'll call him.
Because you're explaining that to me as if you just said it 2 seconds ago, and we all know that you did not.
You've been around me longer than what you're acting like.
I left my Shaun decoder ring at home.
Shaun decoder ring.
A little bit passive aggressive.
Do you get that from Ovaltine?
What movie was Shaun? What movie was Shaun decodering in?
Boo.
But
That's awesome. But what?
thanks for the invite.
I feel like
Here's like over here, like if you want to go, like I told you,
You've
I'll
already
go.
seen it.
I had something important.
I'll watch again.
I have salt and shade to go your way since you watched it without me.
Plus, I did not get to see it in IMAX.
Boo.
That's a
Yeah.
terrible reason to come like nod your head at me about.
You know, I thought.
We've been asked. I think I saw this on Discord. We've been asked to get Chris's head bob on video.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe when we do our live 200th episode on the Twit, no,
there won't be a video on that
Why?
because I can't do a widescreen with the green screen
Why?
because I don't have enough space to cover all. I covered this in the on the stream last.
No, I know, but we can make that happen.
You gonna buy me another green screen?
They're very inexpensive.
Okay. You get like an army of green screens.
They're just it's no excuse.
There's plenty of excuses.
No, you're known for making them.
Never.
Yeah.
Dang, Skippy.
What happened?
All the saltiness I'm hearing.
I know.
Salty
Because you watched Salty Bet with me and Josh last night.
for like half a second.
Yeah.
John, if you don't know what that is, imagine like I don't know. What did we see? Like the Kool-Aid Man versus Captain Crunch with alligator heads or something.
Here.
And they're just
No,
fighting.
I'm good, man. Don't.
It's crazy.
He is. He's doing it.
He's showing it. So if you go to
Yeah,
Twitter,
well, I mean,
Twitch. I'm
Twitch.
sorry.
Yeah.
It's salty. The word salty, SALTY, and then the word bet. They're one word. The S and the B are capitalized, and it's a channel of
Basically, it's random fighters or fighters that have been created by people, and then they are randomly put in against each other, and the CPU does the fights. People bet on this site called saltybet.com. You can bet there as to who you think is going to win. So there's just like all sorts of just crazy things and different scenarios. You never know what you're going to get. So
right now we're watching Lasher versus Duck King XL.
Yeah. Oh God.
And Lasher looks like Venom a little bit. To me.
Yeah. A little bit different though.
Yeah, a little different. And then, he just got beat.
Like I saw a giant Homer once fight Ronald McDonald. That was weird.
He's breakdancing. He's breakdancing.
It's just like some of them, you just never know. You never know. And I guess, when we were watching last night, for whatever reason, there was this thing called the Killer Croc modifier where, like, as soon as the match would start, the whole entire screen would go red and, like, 2 actual crocodile heads would appear on screen and start chomping at each other.
This video is making me dumb.
Yes.
It is very dumbed down.
Yeah.
It's in the style of like a Street Fighter 2 type game. Is it always like this?
It changes.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. It reminds me a little bit of MVC, Marvel vs. Capcom.
What is that? What is that guy doing?
That's the Salty Bet guy. He's just there. He's like, hey, this is like, look at this. He's just Kung Fu Master, and I can't tell where she's from. I don't know. Maybe she's just
He looks like a
something custom.
bootleg Ryu.
Right? He's like, hey, Bob the Kung Fu Master right there. He's like the dude from the Foot Fist Way. You ever saw that with Danny McBride back in the day?
Yeah. We got you.
But anyways, here, let me exit out of this. Everyone have a good week, though?
I mean, it was standard. Standard.
Sanders?
Yeah, I don't think I did anything like I normally do.
Mm-hmm. I was having a normal week, and I got to Friday, and I got a head cold. It wasn't really a head cold. Like, it was kind of like, I think it was just all the pollen. Because, like, in Columbus right now, it's just really bad. And it messed up my sinus systems real bad the whole weekend.
Oh, on Friday, I did, after work, my wife.
Your wife?
Went out, not that, John.
Yeah.
She went out of town, so I was a single guy for the Friday and Saturday, most of Saturday. So Friday night, I went out, had a margarita or two.
By yourself?
No, with Daryl.
Okay.
It's good to have friends.
It is.
It's going to be great when, like, LaJeff and LaDaryl and, like, you're together and me and him are together, and it's like we just kind of stare at each other, and then we all walk outside, and you know there's about to be a throwdown.
Just a brawl.
For no reason.
So that was fun. Then I played Uno that night.
Uno?
With homemade margaritas, which...
Ooh, those are more powerful.
Those are so... It had agave in it, John. That's like a form of honey, I think.
Did you go over to his place?
Yeah. And then Saturday, the weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
I felt bad if you felt bad. I got on the motorcycle and went up to the Pine Mountain.
I saw, you posted, you went up to, what was it?
Dowdell's Knob.
Yeah.
A place that Franklin Delano Roosevelt used to like to go and
Got
cook
the
out.
statue of him there.
So now what, John?
It's over by the little White
Anytime
House.
you say knob, I'm laughing. Because I do. I usually call it Gobbler's Knob.
Did you go do the hike, or did you just drive
No,
up
we just
there?
rode the bike up there. It's a nice ride.
Yeah. Did you go up 27 or where?
I don't know. I just went straight instead of turning left.
Yeah, you went.
He
like
followed
you went Veterans
Darren.
till it turned.
Yeah. That's 27. Yeah.
Yep, that's 27.
It's a good ride.
I'm not sure exactly where it technically stops being Veterans and becomes 27.
Yeah, you just before you know it,
go
you're
like,
out there.
there's 27.
And
We're in
it's like-
Harris County.
It's like Scenic Highway 27. Enjoy the ride.
It's not like when you go to Alabama. Like, there's no part where like 280 turns into something else, right? It's just like it ends.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, that's what I did. And I think before I knew it, I'm sitting in this chair again recording.
Yeah. I played the topic, and then I watched a lot of stuff that no one on here would care about, I think.
Probably right.
Yeah.
John?
I'm not going to admit what I was watching all weekend. John probably could figure it out by what was playing in my car Monday. But
What was in his car?
don't do it.
Lord.
What was in his car? The people have to know what was playing in his car, John.
Don't do it, John.
Well, whatever it was pretentious.
Oh!
So
It is a very pretentious piece. I ain't going to deny that.
I do love when John says pretentious.
So over the weekend we celebrated my wife's
Your wife.
her birthday. Now her birthday is the day that this show is airing.
Ooh.
But she's out of town this whole week, so
Where's she at this week?
that's confidential.
Oh, okay.
Can't really talk about it.
All right.
So we got up and drove up to Atlanta, went and had lunch at the Atlanta Kitchen.
What
I think
is
it's
that?
called.
Where's that?
It was actually, it's kind of it's in Midtown. It was featured on the Travel Channel.
Oh.
It had the absolute best chicken and waffles I've ever had in my life.
Atlanta's got good eats.
Better than
Yeah.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles?
Ew.
Better than Glass Knight's chicken and waffles?
The wait was like 90 minutes, so it took forever to get.
So it was like Cracker Barrel.
I think I know what you're talking about.
it's like Cracker Barrel.
I think I know what you're talking about. I have seen that before.
Yeah. So and after that, we went to the Atlanta History Museum, saw the cyclorama, which was
That's
like
cool.
a big round painting, and by round I mean it circled the entire room, about 300 yards length.
It's like 3 football fields, John.
Thank you, man. So that's a depiction of the Battle of Atlanta. After that, we went to Margaret Mitchell's home. And then after that, we went to Agatha Christie's Dinner Theater, which was fabulous.
Was there a
and not pretentious.
was there a Hercule Poirot in this? I take it.
No, it was a Hamilton-esque mystery.
So it was kind of like taking place in 1700s.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like in America? Because that's weird.
Very
too.
much so in America.
Okay, I mean that's weird for Agatha Christie.
It's just the name of the theater.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
name of the theater.
So it wasn't like an actual like Agatha
No.
Christie like.
No, it gets inspiration from the concept of Agatha Christie.
Gotcha.
But this one more leaned towards it was a murder mystery taking place with a Hamilton-esque approach. Someone shot
The sheriff.
They rapped?
2 hip hop artists in the
okay.
1700s, which meant it was a direct threat to our nation's freedom. It made absolutely no sense, but it was fun and engaging, and at least one person at each individual table had a speaking role to some degree. Where they would say your line is in Act 3, and you'll hear this line, then you stand up and you do this.
Did you do it?
No, I wasn't one of those lucky people.
Was your wife?
No.
Aw.
There was an option on the website when I bought tickets, are you celebrating a birthday? But because I didn't want to die, I said,
Gotcha.
no, we're not celebrating a birthday. Because people who were celebrating birthdays typically were given
Yeah, it makes sense.
speaking roles.
Huh.
If you're in the Atlanta area and you're looking for
Hip-hop and-
something to do, that Agatha Christie, I think it's called Agatha's Dinner Theater.
Okay.
And it's super fun.
Is it funner than medieval times?
Yeah, it is. It really is. And Clarissa's more of an experience type person as opposed to I want physical things for my birthday. She wants experiences.
She wants memories.
Sure, yeah, that's a good way of
She needs the
putting
pensive.
it. And so it's intimidating. It can be intimidating. Surprising her with experiences that you hope she would want to have.
Was she pleased?
Insert
Oh,
jokes.
she hated every moment.
Did she?
No, she had a great time.
Yeah, I figured she would like
So
that.
she said.
Yeah.
But I believe her.
She's like, he tried.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
That's all matters. Yeah.
I feel like there was something important I had to say
Oh, I watched
to you guys.
I watched
was
brackets
I needed to file that under. I need to say that to you guys.
The
but I just can't
Major
remember.
League Baseball started at the Dodgers.
I won my first game in fantasy baseball.
I don't play that stupid game.
I got roped back in,
It's
I was helping-
so much longer.
but it was perfect because I beat Josh.
Oh, that makes it all better.
Like, oh,
Yeah. During our Twitch Monday night stream,
yeah.
if you had happened to join us,
I should probably be talking about that.
We
That's
saved
what
the
I'm doing this for,
president
Chris.
of the United States.
We did.
the aforementioned Josh showed up in the voice chat area.
Even
Surprisingly,
if he shouldn't have. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "What are you doing?"
How'd you do this?
How did he do that? Was he already
I think that channel is supposed to be locked down, but I want to say because of the fact that you have guest host privileges on the Discord that he probably, when I assigned him that role, had access to it. Because obviously, if we did want to do a chat through Discord, we could do it through there and have him on there, right?
Yeah.
Without having to drive down here.
It's been super fun. We launched our Discord channel thanks to our good friend and family of the show, Andy. Has been an excellent job on our Discord channel, and we've recently been on Twitch.
He's done okay.
It's all right.
He could tweak some.
Let's be honest, it's all right.
It's fine.
He's pretty good.
It's serviceable.
And Chris last night got a green screen, or the night before, and got a green screen.
Yeah, from Ryan Leaf himself.
Ryan Leaf of the show.
Ryan Leaf also lived up to his billing because he became the first person to ever sub.
That's right. We can now on Twitch. We are subscriptions, if you'd like. And our first subscription ever was friend of the show. We call him Ryan Leaf. His name is Mike.
Yes.
So that's super cool. And we also friend of the show, Josh,
Yeah.
dropped a dime on us. So
Yeah, he did. But yeah. Listen, yeah, wow, there it is. That's funny. Oh, wait, what was this video? I'm looking at this head bob.
So
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
let's see.
Was he a goddamn asshole?
Oh,
Whoa.
nope.
No, we didn't hear that.
Nope. All right, we'll just let that be for later. But yeah, for those who are wondering, so if by some weird chance you're not someone who understands what subscribes are on Twitch, basically Twitch has an affiliate program. It lets people support those who are the streamers there by while you can just follow us, you can also subscribe, which basically says you're going to give us $4.99 in credit. We don't get it right away, but like if we get to a certain point, we will get that money. And it was big, and I wanted to that was one of the reasons I wanted to set up Twitch, because we've had a lot of people who have routinely written in and said like, hey, I would love to support you and do all that kind of thing. And it's been hard to figure out like, well, how do we do that? Because like if we do a Patreon's supposed to be like a paid service where we give you something. And I don't know if like right now we have anything that we could just give you that would feel like beneficial.
Does
Speak for yourself,
does Patreon specifically require us to give something? Give an incentive?
I think so.
Or is it just common practice to do so?
Yeah, like we could do a fundraiser, but I mean,
it's Patreon generally set up with tiers.
Yeah.
Of how much money you want to give to the creator of content, and then you receive content back, and you receive other things such as in the world of social media, maybe that you get to access their private, like say Snapchat or Instagram accounts and things of that nature, and plus videos,
podcast earlier
podcast access or pictures or
we can do none of that.
Like there's just not like short of like me saying I'm going to put the mic on and let people hear a full outtake version of everything, right? And just consistently record everything. That's about the most I think we could easily offer you guys right now. And that is not something that I think is worth charging $4 or $5 for.
Sure.
But if you want to make a donation, even if you don't care about Twitch, you can go there any month that you feel so inclined. I think there's like 3 different tiers to which you can subscribe. I haven't really set up anything for that. I'm sure I'll talk with Andrew, because he's kind of been my hand holder on all these online.
On the Twitch too?
Well, I mean, he's worked with me on certain things, yeah. Like, he's very much more versed on the online cool, community world and all that kind of stuff. So we're working with him on it, and we'll see if we can't put some incentives to do it. But even if that's not the case, if you want to support us, that's probably the easiest way. If you have a Twitch or if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you actually get a free sub that you can give every single month. You just have to link your Twitch account with your Amazon account, and you'll have Twitch Prime, and you can basically just click that subscribe button and then say, hey, you want to use your Twitch Prime perk to do it. But again, no pressure. We're not like over here like, please God give us money or anything like that. No, but if you want to support us, that is the avenue that we're taking.
And it's more about also with Twitch. If you want to just see us play games or
exactly
see what we're up to, we're going to try to hang out every Monday night. We're going to try to play something together. You're going to at least hear me and John. You'll probably start seeing Chris, because we have capabilities to do that now. And I'm on Twitch a lot, and I bring it up a lot on air, but I don't really subscribe to anybody. I've subscribed to several people for several months, but you want to follow the people you like, because they bring you entertainment, and then one day you might I don't know, be able to tell somebody that we're out there, and that's what we appreciate, is you guys spreading the love and being around. And like I said, with our Discord blowing up a little bit, and who knows where this Twitch thing will take us, but we're going to just enjoy the ride, and we thank you guys for everything. So
also a reminder that even though there probably won't be video, twitch.tv/weekly games chat on our 200th episode. So this is episode 198. We're coming up. We need to actually get together after this probably and figure out what day we want to record this on. But we will be live streaming the podcast as we record it that day. We'll probably put something, I'm sure, in the Discord too, in case people want to ask us questions on the fly or whatever. So if you want to hear us record live and kind of see how that goes, then tune into that. We'll get the date to you next week, of course. We'll probably have it in advance out on our Twitter page and probably Facebook too. So and the Discord. So once we get it all locked down, we'll let you know. That's it. That's all the announcement side stuff. I
think we should go right into this crappy game you're going to talk about.
Hilarious.
I think I might be able to read some text on air. That I sent John.
That's funny.
Should I do that?
Oh, yeah. That would be entertaining.
All right. Let's get to it.
In fact, I'd like to.
Topic time.
The topic is Sean sucks at Sekiro. Shadows die twice.
I don't suck. I don't
Okay.
suck. I don't.
Didn't get good. Didn't get good.
It has nothing to do with that.
Apparently,
Let's do like we normally do, and don't be holding all this angst towards me.
I'm coming at you strong. I heard your pregame attacks last night, so I'm coming at you.
Let's calm down.
I'm gonna be LeBron, and you can be the person. In the
Wait,
paint.
are you Lakers LeBron? Or are you like early
just
Cavs
LeBron.
Well, Lakers LeBron, I'm not worried about at all.
I'm LeBron taking Cleveland to a final in 2007. They had no business being against San Antonio. LeBron,
Okay,
So
that's fair.
just like right here.
Locked in zone.
should we introduce this game by reading Sean's thoughts
Let's
on
do
the
this.
game?
Let's do this.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just let you.
So what night was this?
I don't
Was it
know.
last Thursday or something?
Your phone keeps up with dates, John.
Not.
Not your
There
phone.
it is. Yeah, Thursday. Okay. All right.
Not my iPhone.
So I get a text. First thing, and I'm playing this game at that moment too, and Sean's obviously playing it. He texted me. It says, I hate this game. I'm probably not coming for the recording because I don't want to talk about it. So I give a lot of laugh out loud emojis, and he says, I'm not kidding. I'm trading it in tomorrow. I said, what's the problem? He says, it's effing stupid. People want to suck these kinds of games off. They are terrible. Punish me for dying, but make it stupid hard.
Yeah, I was basically
Dumb
saying
A controls.
the people out there that praise these kind of games, they want to do exactly what I said in the text. I said, but what's bad about this game is it punishes you for dying, but makes it the most ridiculous hard thing of all time. But go ahead, John.
This game feels like a pretentious piece of S. It looks terrible for a late gen game. F this game. The story is lackluster. I'm running around finding glowy things and fighting dudes, then a big dude, more little dudes than a big dude. I don't want to
This
think.
is actually accurate.
I don't want to think. I don't want to be an effing ninja.
And then John says, you killing the big dude successfully after all that? That's his question to me, right?
He says, no, it takes me 14 times at least.
And then John, he's being sweet, he goes, I'm sorry, brother. Traded him for Yoshi.
And
Some
Sean
people
says,
play Yoshi. Some people, that's the game they play.
He says, don't be sorry. Find a guest host for Tuesday. I do not want to be a part of talking about this piece of S.
A little harsh.
John goes, quit talking crazy, brother.
And Sean says, you right. Wish we could Xbox party up, which, is
At
not,
that point, I calmed down. Yeah, and John goes, well, why can't we? Kick it. Talk to me, sweet
I'll
bear.
say this. To be fair, that sounds like classic frustrated gaming,
He
Sean.
says-
Because I've been there. I've been there on the nights of cart where, for whatever reason, it's just not clicking. And Sean can go from like nicest, bubbly guy in the world
says-
to like the most irritated man ever.
He says, this ogre is
said-
so annoying.
I said, yeah. He said, yeah, he is a ball sack piece of S.
And you said, yeah, I don't know if I'm underleveled or how this game works. The ogre is bugged. I can't tell you how unfun this is. And that was pretty much it.
And well, then John finished it off by saying, well, I just got killed by a rooster.
Yeah, the roosters are great.
So I got to the point, and that's,
You got a little further.
I got further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you beat the ogre?
No. Didn't beat the ogre.
In fairness, and I've heard this a lot, it took me at least 30
Yeah.
times to kill that ogre.
To get the
And the only way I could really beat him is cheating. Now, I'm working within the game's parameters, but
Yeah,
I kind of got
I saw a video where
extremely creative.
Some people do that.
where you run past him and get up into a corner really fast, so then he kind of resets into a point where you can jump off the ledge and
That's
take
exactly
that
what I
first
did.
dot off.
That's exactly what
It's
I did.
not cheating.
No, I mean,
It's not, but it's
put
kind
it-
of a hack.
there's some like
Dot hack.
They'll get more patched out. That's usually what they do over time. Like they just keep patching and making it like, no, you have to play this game right. Like there's a boss apparently later on that you can pretty much just do this scenario where you do 1-2 hit right, and then toss that like ash, the fistful of ash at him, and it completely just messes him up. So you just like watch this guy not even stop, just keep doing the same thing, and you're like, that's going to get patched out. They'll do something.
That's
what they do.
We do want to get to a more serious tone because the game It was an awakening for me, the type of game it was. I'm not used to these kind of games.
Nope.
It was a religious experience.
After the days calmed down, I will say this about this game, that I wanted to go back and play. I didn't want to trade it in. I wanted the desire to beat that ogre, to do what it took to do that.
It messes with your ego for sure.
Yeah,
That's what it does. I mean, like, people are always like, why would you want... Like, I remember the first time our old roommate Ryan bought Demon Souls, and he described it to me, and I was like, why the hell would anyone want to do that? You know, it just made no sense. But once you actually pick up one of these games and you start playing, and especially, I think, the first time it clicks and you beat something... even if it's just like that, like the ogre, which is just like, you know, it's a mini boss. It's very early on.
It's a what?
It's a mini boss, yeah. Like the first time you do that, though, you get joy.
Oh my
you know,
God.
And people who've watched me stream this throughout the week here, I mean, when they've been there for my moments of success, like you can hear it and now see it in my tone. Like it truly does feel like an accomplishment, and it is one of those things where in gaming there are very few moments like that where it's like you don't have any other option but to figure it out or else stay stuck, right? Most games, there's a way around it. You could, you know, sometimes like even like you think of like Mario now, it's pretty much programmed in there. If you die a couple of times, it's like, do you want to put this white suit on and not... you know, cat suit on and just not die and not have to worry about that and just go through the level? Or, you know, like Celeste, even as much as I love Celeste, and that is a very hard game at its normal difficulty, like there is a story mode version for that for people if they just want to see the story and want to play it at a lower level. You know, this game isn't that. This game is like those old school, like when you would play Contra or something like that, where it's like or Castlevania, the original Castlevania games, where it's like you are going to go in here, and if you want to beat this, you have to beat it at the difficulty it was made on, and that's it.
Well, one thing I'm learning...
There's no dumbing it down or whatever. It's just figure it out.
Yeah.
Do what you have to figure it out.
Well, one thing I'm figuring out is there's these little, how would you describe the blue things that you sync to? What are those called? Shrines?
Sculptures. Yeah.
The little sculpture things? Well...
Save points.
Save point things... You as you're going through the game, you pick up items that you can basically make your guy better. And this game is set up where you need to maybe get to a save point right before you fight, say, the ogre. Go back to the very beginning place you started, enhance your skills to come back to fight the ogre again. And I was trying to think if there are any other games that I've played that are structured that way, to where there's not an end point. You know, all right, this is the next thing you do now. We're not going to go back to there anymore, to where this thing stays open-ended like that. And it's very important that you're bouncing back and forth to the different areas you need to go. And even the point where what I was doing last night, there's this like manor on fire. And you can go do that while the ogre's still waiting on you. And then you can teleport around and do all the things at one time. And there's a lot going on. And my brain started working right like it's supposed to, and I went, there's a lot, you got to really think about how you want to approach a situation, because
very much so.
And I also learned last night, it was halfway joking, halfway serious, in a world of samuraiism, blocking's important.
That's funny. Yeah, that's a big thing in this game.
Yeah,
the posture and all that.
But one of the coolest moments in any video game I played this year, the intro of this game has a nice opening. And the intro level, right?
Yeah.
When you come out to this clearing, and the way that
it's in the moonlight and all that.
The moonlight and the thing. We talked about a possible. I don't know. I don't want to say too much, but that is stuck out in my head at that moment. How we talked about that. How beautiful that was. So.
It is. Yeah, it's like as you rip the game for the fact that I think on the surface, like when you look at it, like. When I was installing this game, it's only 16 gigs, right?
Which is small.
Yeah, it's like real small. It's not the like best looking game ever. I mean, I think even Dark Souls looked better in this game in terms of like pure graphic power. But the art design makes up for it.
It does.
And it feels very much like a real place. Like you do feel like you're in feudal Japan and all that kind of thing. Japan. So, it's very pretty to look at. But I have to say, someone here, I think of the three of us, I would not call myself a Fromsoftware game expert by any means, but I am, of the three of us, I'd say I've played the most out of us, right? Like, I've played Dark Souls 2 and 3.
You ever finished them?
I have not. I mean, and it's just, that's the one thing that sucks about these games is that because of their difficulty, right? A lot of times you kind of go, well, I have to put this down and go do something else for the show.
Well, it's not just that.
And it's hard to come back to.
You play these long open world games, and in the ground it takes for you in 2 to 3 hours to cover a huge amount of ground in an open world game. You spent 2 to 3 hours that night trying to take down a boss.
Exactly.
So you didn't really get
that far.
While you got somewhere, and when you do it, you feel like you got somewhere. You really haven't moved the needle, because if the spot where I'm at in this game, it's so funny. If I go back to the beginning of the game, I can cover that ground in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about this game.
You're better.
You get a sense of depth from the world, but the world isn't as big as it seems to be.
No.
At least as far as I've covered.
Yeah, it's like more of like there's a straight linear path if you want to take it, but it'll probably mean a lot more resistance. And then there's little branching paths to connect around it.
So, Chris, since you have indicated that you've played most, if not all, of these games from software, from software, I should say.
There you go.
And we all, I think I understand this conceptually, but
sure.
A lot of people have said about this game that in order to be successful in Sekiro, you have to unlearn what you have learned by playing Dark Souls. Some people described it as it's a difference between dodging attacks versus, and I experienced this myself because I kept trying to avoid attacks. I kept getting beat down, and then a moment of pure rage, I ran into a fight and just took it to him. I still got worked a little bit, but I took him down.
For sure.
So talk about that fundamental difference between this game and all the others from software games.
I would say, okay, so Dark Souls is very much the big difference is stamina, right? That game has stamina, and whether you're blocking someone or you're swinging a sword, right, you're using stamina. So you have to be very cautious of how you move around. Those games, to me, they're much more about learning what the enemy does, respecting it, and finding how to find the little openings to do damage. And then you get some people who are just gods at it, right? And they can do it very quickly. Or just finding like what the advantage is that can really win you a fight. Sometimes it's fire, right? Sometimes it's some sort of magic. Sometimes it's just literally getting behind the boss, and while he's doing a big attack up front, you're just standing behind him, stabbing him as much as you can. This game isn't that. Right, this game is more of it's kind of like Liam, Liam Neeson, or is that what I'm thinking of? Right, from Batman Begins, where he says, "This is not a dance. This is a dance." You know, it's the exact opposite. It's this dance where instead of stamina, everything is now based on posture, and posture works in a weird way because it's not based on stamina. It's based on how much you're breaking someone down versus how much they are breaking you down. So as you run in, you do a couple of hits, and it doesn't do too much health damage on him, and it might do a little hits of posture damage. But then,
so explain the difference between vitality and posture in this game.
So you have two things. You have you have your vitality, which is your health, and the boss's health, and then you have posture, which is basically their ability to defend themselves completely. If you ever get the boss to a point where you completely break his posture, you can do an instant kill hit on him. So the first thing to learn in this game is basically how to break posture. What is the best way? Because traditional Soul players, they would say, hang back, look for your openings, whittle down the health. And you could do that in this game, but you're going to have some really long fights, and you're going to have to be perfect in how you move, right? Because most of these bosses, they have so many different tools that they can use to find openings for themselves on you if you're trying to just avoid them. Instead, what you do here is like you'll run in, and like I said, you'll do two swings, and you might not even hit them, but you'll see the posture bar start to go up. And then you know he's going to come back at you. So what do? You start to learn his moves and how to defend them, and basically how to interrupt what he's trying to do to you so he doesn't just consistently lay on you and swing freely and build your posture up to a point of breaking. Instead, you go, okay, he's going to do these 2 hits, and now I'm going to come in and interrupt him and hit him twice. And then he's going to try to stab me, and I'm going to do this thing called the Mikiri counter, and it's going to completely mess up his posture. And I might be doing little whittle hits, like, tiny little hits, whittling him down. But that's not the problem he's got right now. The problem is that all of a sudden, this posture bar, which had very little damage, is now getting to a very near breaking point. And even though I might only get 75% or 25% of his total health off, he'll be open very quickly if I do everything right and I play it right.
Because the more vitality you remove from them, the easier it is to break his posture.
Basically, the more health they lose, the less posture they can hold. Mm-hmm. And you just, once you start to understand this, like this correlation and this dance that's going on, you start to go in these very hard, like I did one of the bigger fights early in the game the other night. John, you've seen the video now, where like that's what I had to learn with that guy. I had to learn I can't just let him sit back and look for an opening. I was like, I have to keep pressure on him, but also understand what he's going to try to do to me and know how to counter it to my advantage. And once I did that, I got to a point where I could take that boss down out of his first 2. He has like 3 phases. I could get the first 2 phases done in no time. As long as I was executing, I would get to the final phase. The final phase, on the other hand, that was a beat. But
one of the
you beat the game.
No, I haven't beat the game. I'm kind of, I would say I'm past the first, what would be, I would consider it the first act of the game.
Man.
I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, of course, but like it feels like that.
See, I was actually kind of I was looking at an article that had a rundown of all the bosses and mini bosses, and I was surprised. I finally got tired of scrolling. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this game is gonna take me a year to beat.
And meanwhile, there's a speedrunner out there who did it in an hour.
Exactly. And you can kind of picture it with this game how he does it. Because when I'd fight my way through an area like the Hirata Estate where the burning buildings are, you go back and you find yourself dying at a certain point. Well, you can start, and it starts you right at the beginning, but you find that you can, traverse rooftops and, angle yourself a certain way and run through all this stuff. And basically, so obviously he just avoided hundreds of small scale enemies to get to just the mini boss and boss fights. Mm. But one of the crazy things about this game that was hard to mentally wrap my head around was the idea of blocking. The game calls it deflecting. Deflecting is always typically 90% of the time that deflecting is the answer.
Yes.
I've only had one boss fight. Granted, it took me hours to get to this point, so it is still a sense of accomplishment. These bosses are 2 to 3 times bigger than you. There's and Wolf in the game, the character is known as Wolf.
Sekiro also.
He is he's later named that. Spoiler, but he is deliberately like smaller than every major character in this game. Like he's like a hobbit. I mean, I don't know if it's like deliberately that way, but he's very small. So all these characters in this game, all these boss fights, they stand 2 to 3 times taller than you, and the game is telling you you can block, and you mentally go, no, I can't, because when that sword comes at you, there's no way that's not going to kill me. So it's a very hard thing to wrap your head around. In the fight with the ogre, for example, the kicks he makes, aside from the grab, which is
that's deadly.
That had to have been glitchy. I agree with Shaun on that. It is devastatingly hard to avoid that.
I'd be clear on one side of the ogre, but
you
some kind
completely
of way
clear, and then it just seems like there's this glitch where
I'm right in the middle of them again, and
your
I'm like,
NPC is over here for some reason. It's just strange. Maybe it's an Xbox thing.
Yeah,
no.
But we know you're so good at this game.
Yeah. No.
But
Whatever.
you see this
Platinum
gigantic sword coming at you, and when you deflect it,
That was my D.
The moment you first deflect a giant sword coming at you, you're going,
Oh,
whoa. You can actually do that.
And that's very different from Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls, you could do it, but one, you better be perfectly timed when you do it, and two, there's like a very limited number of times you could do that before it's going to break down. It's definitely a lot more dodging, and there's dodging still in this game. Like there are opportune moments, you just need to know when to, right? Just like for instance, there's
so dumb playing
for instance
this game.
like the sweeps. Like you have to learn how to read those because you know that's one of those few opportune moments where you should jump.
Well,
if you want the perfect
my biggest challenge, ironically, is it seems like I've mastered the art of stepping on the spear as it lunges at you.
The Makiri counter, yeah, I think it's awesome.
But
Best ability in the game.
every other,
I don't even know what that means.
so every enemy, a lot of the enemies. When they do this devastating attack, it's either a cross sweep, a lunge, or an over the shoulder, I think. But either or, a symbol pops up to notify you that it's going to happen. The challenge with me has been reading. It's just been very difficult for me to read exactly what the enemy is about to do before he does it. That's just been my challenge.
Same. Yeah,
That has been my mental
Learning.
block with this game. Speaking of pretentious,
one of the things I do like about this one compared to the other ones, when I think of like Dark Souls and all that, a lot of that is in Dark Souls. If you want to learn how to play the game, you just have to go out in the world and kind of fight and get used to it. And the one thing I really like about this one compared, and I hope it is in all their games going forward, is like you have that dojo area where you can go challenge that undead soldier, and like he can do two things. Like he can either just train you on very big specifics, and then after you got those down, he can actually train you on like fundamental, like I'm going to take all the tools that a normal person would have and come at you, and you can figure out how to defend. You don't lose any health or anything like that. You can't die. And I did that for a good hour one day. I just sat there because it's a great learning technique. It
surprisingly did not help me. The reason it did not help me, the reason it didn't help me specifically, and I'm not saying this because it's wrong. It's just me. The sheer size of the enemies that you encounter cannot compensate for what he's trying to teach you. He teaches you the moves, he teaches you the concepts, but there's a mental block with me still with a 9-foot sword coming at you as opposed to this guy's sword coming at you. It's just a different feel.
It's like he's a little slower than the normal ones will be, and especially the bosses, right? Yeah. And you usually have shorter windows, but I will say over time I've gotten better. Like now where, as John said, like with those red attacks, like where you see the symbol on the screen, there's two things that are going to happen. He's either going to thrust at you, and if that, you can use the Makiri counter, or else he's going to sweep and you can jump. And if you can learn those things and know how to read them, you become pretty deadly, because not only does it take away his most powerful attacks, but it also does the most posture damage on him.
I didn't learn about this Makiri counter.
Yeah, you should get that ability whenever you can.
Where do I get it from?
It's a skill you unlock.
You'll unlock. I think it's after the ogre. It's because
God, my entire game rests on beating this ogre.
No, dude, I'm with you with that ogre. It was at the ogre where I questioned why I was playing this game.
So that's why it was so funny that I was doing that.
Yeah, because it was like I was like,
come
right
on,
there,
come on, bro.
Otherwise, I'd have been mocking you the whole time.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I feel you. It's like,
and I even without even knowing the glitch for the ogre, I got a kill shot on him to take one bar away, one dot. And then all of a sudden, there's an enemy on the hill by the ogre.
Exactly.
He runs down with his little spear.
Yeah,
half the time, that spear guy gets alerted and just completely. And I'd be in this amazing groove, and here comes the spear dude running down the hill.
Spear.
It's like ogre. This guy imprisoned you. Why don't you kill him first?
Yeah, really. Even you did something though that I didn't. back in the day, with that fight where you were smart enough to learn early on that you could go behind him and actually take away one of his health.
Yeah,
and I never did that with that boss.
The trick is when you're going up
I
the
would
hill,
just start wailing on him.
Yeah, when you're going up the hill, don't go up to him.
Yeah.
In fact, when the arrow, the indicator, the alert arrow turns yellow, start running away. He'll break his chain eventually, and then you hide from him, and he'll just completely forget that he's looking for you.
Okay,
so you'll just creep up the wall.
Yeah,
and you'll be able to go right behind him and take one of his what do they call them?
Basically life dots.
Life dots.
Two of them.
You take one of them away, and you just half the battle just like that.
And knowing's half the battle.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
But yeah, I have to also say the other big thing I've really liked about this compared to maybe Dark Souls or Bloodborne is that I think this is probably, I mean, it's still a little obtuse, but it's easily the most realized story and straightforward story that they've given you. Like, they actually do have true cutscenes, and they explain their things out, like down from the wolf's original thing, like here's the wolf. This game starts out and he's a small child. He gets found by this shinobi called the Owl. Basically, it's kind of alluded that maybe his parents died during this big war that took place in Japan. He takes him under his tutelage, teaches him the shinobi way, and then eventually he becomes this shinobi for a person known as the Divine Heir, which they don't ever say if he's the emperor or anything.
Totally thought it was a girl.
Yeah, at first I did too.
Gotta be honest.
And then what happens at the start of this game, without giving, I mean, if you've seen any of the trailers, you should have an idea. Basically, the Divine Heir gets taken away by a general, and the code of the shinobi is when you have a master that and someone takes them captive. It's your job to do whatever you can to get them back. So that's where our shinobi here starts the story. And from there, where it's gone since then, I mean, I feel like I'm getting pretty knee deep into the story now. And it's been pretty solid. Like, I understand what's going on.
So when I'm texting John and I go, the story sucks, it gets better.
To me, it's very subtle. It's not something that's overly complicated. There's not a lot of exposition. It's more imagery and emotion with occasional dialogue. You basically know what you're there to do, and there's really nothing else to it. And I kind of respect a story that takes that approach. So it's not. It doesn't.
What's the syndrome for when you feel for your hostage? What's that called? Or your hostage taker? Like you start.
Dragon rot?
No, in real life.
No, it's similar to.
Not Stockholm, but
Stockholm, but I don't remember.
It's kind of
exactly. Actually, Stockholm.
It is.
I thought Stockholm was.
So what I'm saying is
trapped.
I hate this game so much that I'm starting to like this game because of how hard it is, and that's some sort of weird connection.
It's an ego. It's messing with it's messing with mine.
It's destroying me.
It's like, I cannot let this stand. I got to take this guy down. Last night, the reason I was so quiet, I was ticked. I kept going.
Who were you fighting last night?
The general names are so wonky, but
okay, so it was one
it's
of the
the beginning of, where you know how the game starts, where the hut where you met the Divine Heir.
Yeah,
there's a samurai. You go back to that area. There's a samurai with a spear standing at the top of that.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
That guy
I hate
is
him.
insane.
Yeah,
and I think I've been sort of working it out in my head today. I think I've worked out how to do it, and so I'll go home and squash those dreams as soon as I pick up the controller. But yeah, I mean, it would be a cardinal sin for us to not talk about the chief mechanic of this game.
Yeah. Wait,
the swordplay? What?
The countering?
The shinobi
the
arm?
posture?
The arm?
What's the title of this game?
Oh, the prosthetic arm.
No.
Oh yeah. Okay, Shadow's Dive. Okay. Yeah. So this
prosthetic
is
arm after that.
So this one is a little bit different from the other ones. Where so the other ones, when you played either Bloodborne or Dark Souls or Demon Souls before it, when you died, you didn't necessarily lose everything. You would respawn back at the last bonfire or whatever. I can't remember what they're called in Bloodborne right now, but like you would basically respawn back there, and you would have to get back to where you were before, and you would have to get back to where you were before and take possession of all the experience you had gathered up to the point where you had died. And if you died before then, the experience from before was now lost. So, you were very careful, right? To make sure that if you were going into a boss fight, that you didn't have too much experience, because you understood you may not get back to capture that during the fight, if the boss fight goes bad for you. This game, though, does something different where when you actually die, you don't actually have to go straight back to the sculpture in this one, which is basically the bonfire for this game. Instead, you can respawn at least once per time and attempt to beat whoever is in front of you, whether it's just a regular guy or a boss. And I think over time you get more abilities to come back per life. The only catch is that basically you have to get a death blow before you can use another one. That's the only, you can't just come back on a boss 3 times. It's no. Here at this boss that I'm showing the video for Shaun here, if I take one of his lives, I can get a respawn back if I lose it. But otherwise I will, if I were to just die again before I got that death blow, I would have to restart all over again.
Best moments of the game are when you're fighting somebody, you respawn and they just smack you away.
As soon as you do, I've had so many of those.
You know what I'm talking about. The ogre's the worst.
But the big thing that actually occurs with this is that then when you do finally die, so if you come back and you die again, unlike before where you would just lose whatever experience you had gathered at that point and you would have the ability to come back and get it again, and that's it. Here, you automatically lose. You can go back to it now. You automatically lose half of both your experience and your money. So there is a lot of incentive to make sure that you spend your ability or your experience when you have it, right? And also that you spend your gold when you have it, because I'll tell you right now, I've had this happen to me. It's very hard to watch your gold go literally from 5,000 to 2,500 on one death, and just realize all that work you did is now gone, But they do have this other thing that's in the game for that called unseen forgiveness, where basically every now and then, about 1 in 3 times at the beginning, I think it is, and it goes down depending on how much you've died, you will not lose any experience or gold. But that's pretty, as we said, that's only 1 in 3 times, so it's few and far between. But it makes you think of how you're doing things and how you're setting yourself up. John was watching me, I think, last night, and I was very worried because I had a good bit of experience. I was close to getting another experience point, and I also had a good bit of gold, and I was really worried that I was about to stumble into a boss fight with all this experience and gold, and I did not want to lose everything I just got, because there's no way to get it back once it's gone, right? So that kind of thing makes you a little bit wary sometimes of is it time for me to go?
Yeah, I still haven't
run
picked
back
up on
to
that.
camp.
I really haven't.
So the consequence of the die twice.
I've never even seen this.
Yeah, this is the prosthetic tool upgrade system.
Yeah, you haven't gotten there.
Oh my god!
So this is the consequence of resurrecting in the middle of a fight. If you die, and you do that a number of times, and you keep dying after you resurrect, the consequence is that certain characters within the world develop a sickness
called Dragon Rot.
Dragon Rot.
Yeah.
And there's ways to alleviate that damage you cause, but
How?
it's just
everybody's got Dragon Rot in my game.
It just takes a little while.
It just takes a while.
Takes a while.
The guy at the temple, he's like, I got Dragon Rot because of you, bro.
Because you suck, bro.
Yeah,
you're killing me, bro.
You gave me this disease.
I did.
And so
that guy.
Just keep it.
Yeah.
So it's a cool mechanic that gives you a perk of giving you that second wind if you're. And you should only use this if you are absolutely sure you can beat the boss or beat the mini boss or beat the enemy.
Yeah.
otherwise, if you make a habit of doing it, there's a consequence.
At first, I was worried about it, but I have to be honest. Over time, I haven't cared. Like as I got the material that was necessary to reheal it as I need it. I don't know if it'll do something to the end or whatever, right? But like I've gotten the ability to heal it, and after you finally do get that ability, it's pretty easy. It's just more of like then you kind of start to learn. Okay, I'm going to do a boss fight. I'm not going to heal this right now because I might die 20 times before I beat this guy, right? You know, that's what you learn.
And so a key to combat in this game is the prosthetic tool, which does it's almost like Samus's cannon in Metroid. It just has different functions.
Yeah,
Samus's cannon has different functions.
Yes, it does. Welcome to the world of Metroid. So
what?
There are, I mean, you get certain type of weapons that work against certain type of enemies in this game but the first and most notable feature and just a joy to use in this game is the rope swing mechanic. I just think it's fun to use. I don't think they have it available to use enough in the game.
There's moments where it's widely, and other times you're like, I really wish it was here.
Yeah.
This was here right now.
I learned how they want you to use some of them. I went off meandering for treasures, and I got on the side of a mountain.
Did some meandering, huh?
And I didn't know how to get back up the mountain. And then I saw a point way across the way that got almost big enough for me to use, but I had to take a leap of faith to jump to it for it to turn green. Then I could use it. And I was like,
there you go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's how that works.
Have you by chance defeated any of the headless enemies you might find in dark caves?
I came very close. There's one now.
I'm just not even going there.
Yeah, those are kind of, I think they're, for the most part, there might be one later on that isn't, but I think for the most part, most of them are optional.
Are they like the Valkyries and Zelda?
I wouldn't say that.
God
It's
of War?
just that they have a very specific set of requirements in order to do them. Like you have to have a certain item basically to equip to yourself, otherwise you won't do enough damage.
And it's like you're taking the risk of, well, now I have this item, now I can fight this mini boss, but if I die, that item's gone, so I can't do it again.
Exactly.
So it's very...
The guy you're struggling with, there's like a certain combination you could do, and I got very upset because I literally got him to 2%, and I couldn't finish him off because I just... Yeah, no, right? Perfect, right?
2 more seconds, man. 2 more seconds.
You know,
really, bro?
But no, like I had wasted I basically had to go farm this material again because I was like, this is the way I win this fight. I just couldn't do it the other way at that point. I hadn't really figured out the posture stuff as well as I could have, right? I probably, after I did figure it out, I went back and I just whooped him. Because then it was like, oh, okay, now I understand. But
talk to me afterwards. I'd like to understand.
Yeah, but I could tell you, because I know you probably have what you need if you want to do it that way. But it was one of those things like, oh, that really hurts him. It was that kind of thing.
Oh my God, John! I don't feel like you should do this.
Ooh,
well, I want to know what hurts him because he's been a mammoth.
Yeah,
he's the most. He's the most annoying
because he's got a very long spear. And he's
the most annoying since the ogre for me. He's just
really?
He's just and you don't even have to fight. You don't even have to fight him. I don't think.
I think eventually you need to, but just to get certain things. But he's fun. Have you gone to that other side in that area yet, and gone into the cave? Yeah, there's an interesting guy down there.
Oh, down in the pit.
Yeah, right around the corner from where that is.
Yeah, I died by him and went, I'm not going this way.
I will come back to you later.
I'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say, I'm really happy right now in the sense that I'm in a place where I get to play this game pretty much uninterrupted if I want for like the next 3 or 4 weeks, right? Because Sean saw the game we're going to be doing in a couple of weeks. He got really upset, but it's there.
There's no way you can make anything out of that game.
I will.
Dude, that game is terrible.
Okay. You suck.
There's no way we can talk about that game like we just talked about this game.
Well, it's a different type of game. We talked about the, the Witness. It's the same type of game.
Mm.
Yeah. But anyway,
We'll see. Squirrel.
But anyways, it's like one of those things where I'm in a rare place where you guys are both doing the game we're talking about next week, and then we have the 200th episode, which will be its own thing, and then we have that game afterwards. And that game, the good thing for me is that I can, as Sean saw, I can kind of just play it sparingly in my time. I don't need to like sit down and be like this game where you just for 20 straight hours just try to get really good at it, right? So I get to pretty much for the next month dive into this, and I'm really excited. I'm committed. I'm going to make this the first game from them that I beat, but I also accept that it might take me to June to do that. How about you, John? Are you hardcore to try to beat this, or
I don't know yet.
Why do you ask you first?
I know what your answer is.
You don't, because John told me to trade it in for Yoshi, and I went, "That's a great idea, John." I quickly looked up the trade-in value for Sekiro, and I went, "It's only at 30, which is good.
That's pretty good.
Like, it's like half price of a game.
But I had just gotten it. Like it was 2 days into me owning it, and I was like, that feels like a ripoff. So I don't know if I'll trade it in, but I do want to. I don't know if I can beat it, man. I don't know that I have the desire. I should say that the desire to want to beat it.
And that's my thing. Do I have? Is this game going to beat me down at some point? I mean, I respect it. I don't know that I don't know. I have mixed emotions about the game. I can tell you that I think about it all the time. I'm stubbornly wanting to go back and beat the guy that worked me to death, and I suck at it. Absolutely suck at this game.
But you feel like you're getting better.
I don't think I'm
getting better.
I always keep every time I think I'm.
Yeah, you're not getting better.
Every time I think I'm getting better, there's another boss that comes along that says to me, "You really don't understand these mechanics. You understand the mechanics, but you have a 40-year-old brain that doesn't react."
You're 40?
The way rounded up,
Yeah.
In my 20s, this game would have been.
I don't even. So what you're saying is my youthful mind, because I'm younger than you guys.
Well, you know how you're not good at shooters.
Yeah,
you're good at these.
Well, as I heard the other day, John apparently kills everyone.
John Rambo.
Yeah. Though I think I might have picked him up last night. I think he finally had that opportunity where that dude came around and just worked you, and I tried to save you.
Yep.
It did not go well.
It was for the president.
Yeah, I'm very much, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I don't think I would have enjoyed these games. And I get why people love them now. And it's because it is a little bit something lost, right? Like it has, on one hand, it has that, I think what people love about Zelda, right? Or like what they loved about Breath of the Wild, which Breath of the Wild was just, here's this big open space, and we're not really going to tell you where to go or what to do. But if you're willing to walk around and explore your surroundings and really think about looking in different areas, you can find all sorts of treasures hidden. But even if you don't do that, there's a bunch of great content for you to enjoy. And what I've learned with these games is that is very true. You could just run in the straight line if you want, and I think you would, especially if you like combat in games, you would find a lot of things to enjoy. But on the other hand, if you, take the time to go left and go right instead of just straight, and start looking down and up above you, you start to, and like looking at figures and going like, I wonder what that does, if that does anything, and question your surroundings. You all of a sudden start to find all sorts of secrets in this game, and just like all the other ones that they've made. And it's very, very rewarding to do this. And then finally, when you get to a place where you actually figure out the combat, I don't know if there's another game combat-wise that I've played that, gives you that satisfaction of when you do actually accomplish something. Because I can't say that the bosses are unfair over most of the time. Like, they're hard and they can be imposing, but as John's figured out, and like I had there was one boss that Platinum was actually listening to the show, was watching me fight one night, and I died like probably for 4 hours straight on her. But when I finally figured it out, I dominated in such a way that I kind of realized right then and there, it wasn't the fact that she was OP or that she was doing things unfair. It was just that I was not reading it right and I wasn't executing it right.
Monkey booze.
And the moment I did, I all of a sudden felt like a true ninja warrior and a true BA. You know, I felt like
a ninja warrior, dude.
Yes, I felt like I was like nothing can stop me when I do what I'm supposed to do in this game. You know, and it's quite rewarding. And like I said, probably the last time I felt this way was beating all the Valkyries in God of War as far as recent games. But
you
like
see that?
When watch this, choo choo, wee. See, but you know you. And then this is where I found out where I was, and you're going to see I quickly turn around from here once I stop drinking my drink on the channel there. I'm like and reading the Twitch stream.
Is that a cave? That's a cave.
Yeah, it's a cave. And then I came around.
Stupid caves.
Watch this. Then all of a sudden I was like, okay, what's this place? And then I started going down. And I saw that, and I knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What was it?
That's that headless enemy that we were talking about.
I was like, I am getting out of Dodge.
Yeah. The thing was just creepy. That's half the battle is just being completely horrified by these.
They have
these enemies.
They have great art design for their enemies, especially the bosses. They're usually always memorable. But yeah, like it's driven me to keep going and get stronger. It feels like it's always rewarding.
It's about time something did.
I mean, yeah, NBA 2K just isn't a challenge anymore, man. Chris Love dominates.
Chris Love is the jam.
Yeah.
Well, it made me almost want to trade in every console I own and just
burn them.
Start sewing.
Weekly sewing chat.
It made me question why I do this.
Yeah, I was like, why did? And it didn't help that I bought a new Xbox controller as well. I had given my prior two wireless controllers to my brother, and he destroys them playing Fortnite. And at one point,
I can see why now after watching his videos.
I had bought him a wired Xbox controller, which he didn't like, which subsequently is how he got two instead of one of my wired ones. Well, anyway, that's the one I've been stuck with, and I was like, you know what? It's time for you, boy, to have a real Xbox controller. For the life of me, could not get the thing to connect. It was doing a thing to where, even though I was syncing the controller with my Xbox console, when it synced, it was turning his Xbox on, even though his Xbox was off. So I was moving his screens in his room when I was trying to literally just sync to my Xbox in my room. It was a mess.
Yeah.
But I watched some YouTube videos and that got fixed, and I was all like, I'm fixing to go be a, awesome shinobi guy.
And then it was like,
And
nope.
then, nope.
And you look like a shinobi guy who's never held a sword in his life.
Yeah, so we are. I
We're going a little long here. But Richard Wise, Sean, I even dare to ask what your
man, I'll give it an 8, dude. It's a solid game. For the right person, you're going to love it. You happen to be one of those right people, and I understand what it is. I'm not going to take a complete crap on it, but the challenge is the challenge and the like John says, the smack to my gaming ego is making me respect it. Maybe giving it a little bit more than I truly feel, but I'll give it an 8 for now, and we'll see. I don't know how long I own the game, and I don't know how long I'll play the game, but
yeah.
Like John said, you think about it, you want to go back. That means something. That's an intangible that not a lot of games do.
It's kind of like MLB The Show to me a little bit. Like,
what?
I don't think, like in the realm of sports games, I don't think that game is for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like, but if you really love hardcore simulation baseball, right, you want that true experience of learning how to do something right.
Yeah.
Those who actually do play that game and love playing it on its base difficulties and all that, like they all say it's one of the best sports games you'll ever play.
Indeed.
So I can definitely respect that. Like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I would warn people that, but
hey, I did it for the show, guys.
there you go, for the show.
For the show.
John, would you offer a Richard? He's thinking hard.
Did I set the bar too high, John? And I set it just right.
Or too low.
I mean, this is preliminary.
Yeah, but that's for sure.
I guess it's a 9.
Ooh.
I guess. I don't really have much to say about why it's a 9.
You just feel like that's right.
You respect
right?
what it does, but you're like,
The world's. I love the world.
I love
monkeys.
I love the idea of that world. I hate that Fromsoftware made this game in that world. I do wish I had more of a Link style character with Link bosses in that world that I could handle a little better.
No, when they first announced this game,
No
I
swing.
thought when I first announced this game, I thought they were stepping away from the intense difficulty type game that they're known for, because I see this game, I see Ninja Gaiden. I mean, even from the beginning of the game
Yeah,
of
that's
Ninja
fair.
Gaiden Sigma, or if you're that person, Ninja Gaiden Black from the Xbox days, you have that boss fight at the end of the first level, and you are destined to lose it.
yeah.
You know, it's that same concept. So I thought this was going to be more approachable, but it's not.
You were wrong. I do want to see eventually when Ghost of Tsushima comes out how different they are, even though they're kind of cut from the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
cloth. From not necessarily the difficulty, but the Shinobi-esque
Yeah.
samurai style. You know what I mean?
It's weird. The best thing I can compare this to right now would be Neo, which came out a couple
and
years.
I
And
hate it.
actually, I think that's a harder game.
Neo is harder.
Yeah, because there's like combat wise, like there's all these stances you have to learn, and you have to understand how they work, as opposed to like in how to read your enemy's stance. And that requires a lot of work. There's a lot of button presses in that game, but
It's your turn.
yeah, I have to say, I enjoy the Dark Souls games, and I enjoy Bloodborne not as much, but I like Dark Souls more. But the one thing that I don't enjoy about those as much is the RPG is so obtuse. Like unless you're just going online and reading, like, here's how to build a good character, there is so much freaking trial and error in those to figure out like what it is that you personally need to make your character work. And it's nice for them to finally make a game where, yes, it's still the same difficulty, but like, as far as leveling up your core abilities in this game, that just naturally happens by playing the game. And then it's just picking the certain little tendencies of attacks you want to have and advantages. Like, there's not too many things like outside the Makiri counter. I'd say there's not like too many essential, you must have this ability. So it's nice for them to make something, I think, that while, yes, like as John and Sean have kind of demonstrated, like might not be easily approachable, you're going to have to do some work and learn how the game works. But from an actual layout of how the game is in terms of building your character, I think it's probably the most approachable one they've done to date. I've also really enjoyed, again, like, their story, I think this is their most realized story from what I've gotten, and it's interesting. I don't think it's the most emotional thing ever, but the thing that sets this game apart is what makes all the Fromsoftware games great in their own right, and that's the enemies are all distinct and memorable, and you really do get this sense of accomplishment that few games will ever give you in this day and age. And because of that, I'd say right now I'm sitting already at 9.5, and I don't want to ever give something a 10 until I really beat it. But I will not be surprised at all if this is a 10 when I'm done. And I definitely think it's probably the first thing that I would be very surprised at the end of the year it's not in my top 5 games that I played. I've really enjoyed this one.
Wipe your mouth.
Sorry, good. Choking. You guys want to do some news?
Please.
Yeah.
Right?
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
Oh my god! I need you to say it like that, like off air, like you did. That's the greatest thing I've ever heard you say.
You'll never know.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
After I give it a 9, we go off air and I start trashing this game.
Right? This is a 6.
This game is a 6. F this game.
That's so. No, not even that.
Do you know how many times though this game was a 6 playing it?
I'm
I'm
sure.
like, dude,
Yeah, it will
F
frustrate.
that bull.
Have you done the Lady Barfly yet? Yeah, she was one that really.
I can't even get past the mini bosses to fight her.
Oh my god,
He's fun.
this game. All right,
What's
so
the first word of that? Because you
news?
Yeah, you didn't say. It.
From the Borderlands.
Yeah.
At PAX East, that's up there in the northeastern part of the United States of America.
Had a coworker who went.
Randy Pitchford See, I said his whole name like that. And Paul Sage announced and confirmed Borderlands 3 is in development. The announcement came with a teaser trailer confirming characters, powers, and locations from the sequel. More information should be coming at the time that this show drops. However, there is a rumor that Borderlands 3 will release on September 13th, 2019.
Ooh.
That's pretty close. In addition to this news, a remaster of the original Borderlands was announced, and you may have it in your sweaty little palms by the time you hear this news.
Yeah, it's like out digitally tomorrow, isn't
Probably today.
it? Maybe, yeah.
I bet it's today. Did you guys happen to see the press conference for this?
No.
I did not. I heard there was a lot of disasters.
It was. You have to admire Randy Pitchford's ability, and I've never really seen him do the long game on a stage before. I don't really know that much about him, other than a lot of people hate him. But I was impressed with his ability to keep the audience engaged through all these technical difficulties, and
Fans
you
love
can imagine that he probably chewed somebody up one side down the other after it. But I'm almost convinced he didn't, because he made it. Some people have this rare talent where they're not necessarily dependent on the technology to push them forward. They are the presentation. And I was totally impressed. The crowd, which I'm sure was mostly fans other than press, was hype. I've never seen people more hype for a game.
Well, you're at PAX, man.
Than Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Dude, Borderlands,
insane.
I believe it was Chris who got me on it, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's fun, man. It's a fun little game.
A lot of these like looter shooters online and all that, you're just like, why don't you just do it like Borderlands? Like,
it's perfect.
Like you're like, they made the perfect looter shooter game. I don't understand why you guys can't copy that formula, in some regards. But I think with the September 13th, I mean, it's pretty much kind of an unofficial confirmation, because basically someone accidentally posted it to the to the Borderlands Twitter with the screenshot of the release date, and it makes sense. That's they released.
It makes sense.
Like that's about when they release the other ones, is September. I mean, that's when you should release it.
Yeah. Not only that is you don't want to take something, while it obviously has its fans, you don't know for sure if gamers in general have moved on from this type of game. And, maybe they're keenly aware of that, and they've made this Borderlands 3 something more catered to what we want now. But I will tell you,
all the different areas you can go to, that's cool.
The game released today, the original Borderlands with all the DLC.
Great DLC in that game, too.
Yeah, DLC is important to games, I think, John.
Yeah. But you got to buy this one.
Yes.
If you want to buy DLC for We Happy Few.
Oh.
Gearbox has announced the release date for the first DLC pack for We Happy Few, entitled They Came. From below.
And then I'd say, yeah, they did.
The first piece, love a good piece. The first piece will be available for download on April 4th, which is the day you're hearing this podcast, hopefully, and cost $7.99 individually, or be purchased in the season pass for $19.99. This is the first of. Did I get that wrong? I did, didn't I? Yeah, sorry. That's Thursday.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's fine. I just look at my watch weirdly after you say things all the time.
I screwed up, man. I screwed up. This is the first of 3 additional stories for the game that casts Roger, a character in the original content, as he partners with James as they attempt to survive a robot uprising. And if you did not hear this yet, We Happy Few is free to play on Xbox Game Pass.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I just don't. I remember you being hyped for We Happy Few.
I was.
And then
Did you ever play it?
But it's free now, so I get to.
Yeah.
It's free now.
It got trashed. It really did not.
But that doesn't matter for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for me. But there was a sequence of events where I kept talking about and buying games that were industry-wise not well thought of, and I just wanted to I didn't want to spend my money right now. It wasn't because I was invested in the scores. It wasn't the right
invested
time.
in the stores.
Well, I mean, sometimes keeping your money is it's vital to your finances.
Plus, it came out in August, right?
What was he doing?
Yeah, I think.
I don't know.
You know, so
What was he doing?
I don't remember.
I
what
want to say
came
it was in August.
Sean's trying to pivot.
Oh.
I was pivoting. And it was,
Speaking of vital,
it was so. I was going to say money's vital to your finances, as E3 is vital for CD Projekt Red. Chris, that's what I was going to do, and you started talking about August. See what you did.
It's a conversational
Oh,
podcast.
no, it's fine. I hate you so much. See, CD Projekt Red is calling E3 2019 its most important one ever. According to CEO Adam Kaczynski, did I say that right, Chris? Sure. Last year's Kikianski. Last year's E3 has been the most important one so far throughout the whole CD Projekt history. But this year's is going to be the most important one ever for us. We've really prepared a strong show. The studio is expanding with more space. Kaczynski indicated that more hiring is intended for that space, but did not indicate whether that space would be used for further development of Cyberpunk or another project.
Witcher.
You wish, and the show does not wish. Regarding that new project, it's too early to go into details just now. ... We are doing a lot of things. We don't communicate. And I'm not saying another Cyberpunk product is or is not being developed. It's just that there are a few things we're not discussing just yet because the time is not right.
Yeah, they keep their cards close to the
To
chest.
the old chest plate.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Like, the most they usually ever do for one of the main stages is a trailer, right? You know, they don't really do big gameplay demos, so you almost like wonder, I mean, Microsoft's got things that they've got coming this fall, but still, if CD Projekt Red wants to put this game again and like say, here's gameplay of like the finished product and all that, like how it's going to actually look once we release this thing, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty big.
What about...
That was nice.
Yeah.
Right?
You said that your boy Geralt's story is over with, right?
Yeah, like where they're going, but they could always tell stuff before the events of
Prequels.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's got a lot of history.
Cool. That'd be a breath of fresh air.
Well, speaking of breath,
Speaking of broth.
Breath of the Wild co-dev, that's co-developer, is hiring. Monolith Soft, creator of Xenoblade, is hiring for a new Zelda project. On a Zelda-themed recruitment page, Monolith says it's looking for technical artists, programmers, planners, designers, and project managers. No hint has been given as to the specific scope of the Zelda product, but the ad is asking for staff who can help, quote, create new surprises and emotions, end quote. Monolith has contributed to both Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild in the past.
I still need to go play Skyward Sword, huh?
I would hope that this... Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Maybe it'll come to Old Switch.
I would hope that this was a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Or at least an expansion.
Possible.
Something that brings... what's the other secondary villain in the Zelda franchise?
Ganon?
No.
Ganondorf?
Ganondorfin stuff.
I'm embarrassed. He was featured in Four Swords.
Oh,
Minish Cap. Yep.
Why would you do that to me?
That guy.
That guy. Oh,
Yeah.
what's his name? Craig
Yep.
and them. Oh my God, I hate
Craig-
you, John,
Craig
so
and them.
much.
It would be cool to
Bob.
go back to that.
No, he's like. Should we Google it? We need to know.
I can't do it.
I don't want to do it. I'm going to make my brain think about it.
That's
While
right.
you think about it while I make the news thing. Pivot
Why don't
to
you make an
Sega
announcement?
That was like weird.
Sega announcements. Sega has announced 4 new games based on the Olympic and Paralympic Games Tokyo 2020. The first title will be Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, the official video game, which will be released in
Japan.
and Asia for PS4 and Nintendo Switch, and worldwide in 2020. This is a fun-filled sports action game where you can create your own avatar and compete in Olympic game events with people around the world. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 will then hit the Nintendo Switch during winter 2019. It seems to be similar from previous iterations with a collection of mini-games centered on certain sports. Finally, Sonic at the Olympic Games will release on iOS and Android in 2020. This is a more casual title with touch controls and social features. In addition,
Sega.
has announced the
Sega.
Genesis Mini release date as
That's actually what that would be.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
The Sega Genesis Mini release date as September 19th, 2019.
Ooh.
That's right around Borderlands time, huh?
All right.
The system will contain 40 classic games, including Sonic the Hedgehog for the 97th time. How do you say this? Echo or Echo?
Echo.
I say Echo.
Echo the Dolphin.
Echo the Dolphin. And Castlevania Bloodlines. The price will be $79.99 US. The console will be 55% the size of the original machine launched back when I was a wee little tot
Most
in
importantly,
1989.
most importantly, Altered Beast will be on the console.
That game.
They better have Streets of Rage
Yeah.
too on there, because that game is a jam.
It's okay.
I love that game. But
Final Fight
I
was
love
the
Final
better one.
Fight. Yes.
Echo was a jam.
that
Sonic 2. Sonic was okay, but Sonic 2 was the one that was really the jam out of
I'm
those.
sure it's got to be. on there.
There'd be no Sonic 2 without Sonic, Chris.
This is true.
Oh, and it's
I'm sure they'll all be on there.
Vati. That's the villain of the Minish Cap. Vati.
Ah.
Yes.
Or Vati, whatever you want to say.
right.
I looked it up.
You did.
I did.
Cheater.
You did.
I said I looked it up.
Valve looked up something.
Yeah, this is good. This is the best news.
Chris.
Valve's new virtual reality. Valve has announced that the Index VR headset, which has got to be the most boring name I've ever heard, will be revealed with full details. Will we reveal?
Read it like you typed it, John.
I will.
Do it for me.
Will be revealed with full details. Will be revealed on May 1st. The product was accidentally leaked. The product was accidentally leaked on Steam Store product page. This accidental announcement and Newsbit referred to a June 15th release date. However, Valve clarified that the release date has not yet been confirmed. Alongside the headset, Valve will release Index controllers, which have been referred to as, quote, Knuckles controllers
Sonic and Knuckles?
during development and testing.
So they probably just rest on your knuckles and you're doing these little things.
Yeah, kind of like how the
That makes too much sense.
kind of like
the Oculus ones.
Does Valve have a VR set already?
kind of like
Or
ring,
was
None I
that
know.
kind of like ring pops.
Oculus?
no? There's another competitor.
Oh, Vive.
There you go. That's what.
That's
HTC.
Yeah. I don't know why they aren't calling this just Steam VR. Like, it just makes more sense to
They
me.
should call it the Steamer.
Cleveland?
Exactly.
Firehouse.
Very good.
Steamer.
We better hurry up.
Yeah.
Blackout free for April
Read fast.
because April is the greatest month of the year. Treyarch has announced that the Last Man Standing Battle Royale portion of Call of Duty will be free to play for everyone from April 2nd through the 30th. All you will need, if playing on consoles, is an active subscription to PSN or Xbox Live. Just download Black Ops 4 and the Blackout mode will be freely available. This announcement follows the reveal of a brand new map for Blackout called Alcatraz.
And you can see
That's a
why
place.
you can see why they made it April 2. Because if they did it on April 1st, everybody would have said, "No,
It's
Yeah,
a
it's not
joke,
real.
man. It's April Fool's.
two things."
I feel like they're probably doing this because, one, the new Fortnite season launched, and then, of course, they got the added competition from Apex.
Hey, will you quit making sense of all these things, dude?
It makes
I
sense.
did it. I didn't say that, though.
It's not surprising.
Are you trying not to say make sense on purpose?
I'm just saying words. Just
Cool.
like Bethesda did.
Bethesda news. Here's the latest, guys. Bethesda has confirmed that
Boo.
I can't write. I should just hang it up. Bethesda has confirmed that it will not be discussing or revealing any new details on the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield at E3 2019.
Of course not. Thanks, Todd.
At PAX, Todd Howard tempered expectations from fans, hoping for more details on the projects. Quote, "Before anyone asks, please be patient. It's going to be a long time. It's not something we're going to be talking about at E3, either of those games this year. Patience, please, because we screwed up last time." Wait, I might have ad-libbed.
You ad-libbed, John.
Good news, however, the Elder Scrolls Blades officially entered early access.
Yeah, it is.
This title is not under NDA. If you receive the invite to play, all progress will be carried over into the final game. I have it downloaded, and I'm interested in seeing how.
I'm not.
This makes no surprise that this is no surprise that he is not going to talk about those games.
Todd Howard.
Why is that no surprise?
Because he went to E3 last year and talked about his new game last year. He's not going to come back and talk about
he probably gave everybody the riot act last year.
Yeah, he's like, I'm waiting until he will not. First off, you ain't going to see anything on Elder Scrolls 6 until Starfield's coming out. And even then, if anything, you get like another little blurb, right?
Starfield, the game no one wants.
Oh, people want it.
That's not true.
Yeah, I will play that.
I think I want it.
That teaser, I mean, I have no idea what that game is
You
about.
wanted just as much as you wanted No Man's Sky. Got it.
Ooh.
Fair point. I
You don't
really
even know what
wanted
it
that
is,
game.
though, right now.
Yeah.
No one knows what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and
sure.
see what happens. But
We'll
my
imagine
guess,
it in our dreams.
my guess, we won't see him again until the next console generation.
Probably.
Yeah. You know what you will see soon?
Is this it?
Yeah, this is you. Oh, wait. No,
Oh, okay.
that's not it.
You'll see dreams if you go to sleep, right? Sometimes.
Boo.
Dreams Early Access. Dreams Early Access release date is right around the corner with a launch of April 16th. Remember, the cost will be $29.99. The tool will arrive as a Creator Early Access version containing a suite of creation tools and tutorials for using them. Should I say suit instead of suite?
Sweet.
Okay. Sweet. This version will not include the planned story campaign.
Oh, cool.
What in the H is Dreams Early Access? What does that mean?
Dreams is the name of the game.
Oh, and it's
or
early.
the development tool, whatever this thing is. It's not really
forgot. Do I remember what
Yeah.
this is?
This is the folks who did,
Little Big Planet.
yeah.
Oh, I'm back in, Rue.
Yeah, like where Little Big Planet had its campaign and also had all those creator tools, like, and people made like a pinball game and all this other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So this is supposed to expand on that greatly. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know how it will end up, but hopefully there are wiser minds than us who will go into these tools and like they'll come back and be like, I made this humongous game and it's amazing.
Hopefully it's a
Hey.
long-term investment for them.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. You know what also makes sense? Gwent for smartphones.
For sure.
That does make sense.
I'm actually surprised this wasn't already a thing.
Gwent, the Witcher card game, is coming to iPhones later this year, with Android to follow at a later date. We've been preparing long and hard to adapt
hard.
Gwent to smartphones. Beautiful visuals aside, we've tailored much of our technology, including GOG Galaxy, which powers Gwent's multiplayer to support mobile devices. I think our vision for bringing Gwent to smartphones combines the best we have to offer, both in terms of graphics and gameplay. I can't wait to share more details on the subject with you later this year. End quote.
Why is Hearthstone not on mobile devices?
It is a mobile game.
Is it? Hearthstone is?
Yes. And you know this.
I'm going to run through the window now.
Yeah. You know
Is
this.
it?
Yes, you know this.
Hearthstone's mobile?
You're having a moment.
Am I?
You're having a stroke.
Because
The
I'm
game
really,
is like everywhere.
Hearthstone's everywhere?
Yeah.
One time I had
The
to...
vein in your forehead is pulsing. I think you're
I'm
having a
nervous.
stroke.
It's nice knowing you. Can I have your DJ stuff? Thanks.
Sure. I'd rather play Hearthstone on mobile than Gwent, because Gwent sucks.
But you haven't played it.
I did that just to elicit reaction from Chris, and he didn't do anything, so now I feel bad.
I don't know that he played Gwent in the game.
I
did.
I did not play much Gwent in that game, no.
But you see how he said much Gwent? That means he played Gwent.
I tried it out. Yeah, and I was like, and then I looked it up. I'm like, is this really that vital? And it's like, no. And I was like, I'm going to go kill things then. But
awesome.
I mean, if it's a good card game, it's a good card game, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe
So
I'll
is
give it
Uno.
a shot when it comes
Just play
to
Uno.
phones.
Uno rules.
Uno.
Uno! Final Fantasy 15 studio starting.
Speaking of finally.
Boo.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Is this finally?
Yeah, this is finally.
Oh.
Which is why I gotta say, finally, fantasy this week. That's final. Finally this week.
Final Fantasy
What was
15.
that? Like a nothing left in the tank shot?
That was 3 tugs of the Richard later. Final 15 studio starting new game. Luminous Productions. That's an amazing name, by the way.
Luminous.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Do you want me to say Luminous?
No, it's Luminous. You're
Okay.
good.
I love it. Luminous. Whatever, John. The studio that brought you Final Fantasy 15, Chris's bro game, is working on a new
Fun game.
AAA game.
Shocker.
AAA, guys. According to Final Fantasy 15 DLC creator Takeshi Terada, That's
That's
right.
Take She Terada.
No, it's not.
It says Take and She. Prove me wrong.
Because it does. The studio's next title will be set in a brand new. Sing it, John. Brand new world.
A brand new.
Yeah, that's nice.
Shut it down.
And is the reason Luminous Productions was established. Quote, I cannot talk about the details, but like Final Fantasy 15, I will create a game based on a new world drawn with high quality, high end. Please be assured that the next project is already in motion. End quote.
I will create.
Rest
Isn't that
assured,
crazy? I will create.
high quality, high end.
I hope it's good. It'll probably
That's an
come out
amazing
like,
statement.
knowing him, it will come out in about 2035. So
Yeah, they like
that's about their timeline.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. And it won't be, if it comes out as Final Fantasy 16, it'll be Final Fantasy 19 X triple bladed something because it took that many revisions to make it work.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
A good news segment, guys, huh?
Yeah, right? It was kind of straight to the point this week.
We didn't drop no Google Stadia.
No.
Stadia.
Your face.
Stacadia?
Say it wrong again.
Staccadia?
I will end you.
Is it basically like me saying SNES? That's twice. That's twice. I've said it on air, John.
There's
Don't
nothing
ever
wrong with
say
saying
twice.
SNES. You guys want to wrap this up?
Never.
Emails. If you want to write in your thoughts and opinions.
Guys,
What?
I don't hear you.
You hear me?
I hear you.
I don't hear you.
Oh, you kind of unplugged yourself, huh?
Yeah, I did. Well, just
Put it back in.
This is when you break everything.
Sean, put it
by
back in.
plugging- Yep, there
Put it
goes.
back in.
It's in. It's in. It's base deep.
If you want to write in your thoughts and opinions, you can do so by writing us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. Just like a many did. That's what it says, right? I don't know if it's supposed to be a Manny. But anyways, he says, hi,
I
everyone.
think it's Amani.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with Amani.
We'll just call him G.
What up, G?
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Still waiting for that. John, you say
John,
hi?
you going to say hey to the guy?
What's up, man?
Stop reading ahead, John.
Yeah. John, let's...
It is very cool that you guys take the time to read from the listeners. I've been listening for a little over 2 months now, and you guys have become my favorite podcast.
Thanks, buddy.
As someone who is very busy doing schoolwork, sophomore in high school, finding time to play games is hard. Every night after finishing a pile of homework, it's always a relief to know that I will get to sit down and listen to your guys' great conversations about the gaming world and some sports, which I don't mind. I myself am a football lad, aka soccer, but I enjoy your conversations about other sports too. Overall, thank you for doing a great podcast. My question is about Star Wars games, and someone who put most of my hours in Star Wars games, even EA games, sadly. I was very excited to hear that Lucasfilms is expanding its game division. Knowing that there will probably be an increase in Star Wars games, what sequel or original game would you like them to make? Also, when it comes to you guys hating anime, I understand that most anime fans go too far, but some anime is very good. I'm not a major fan, as I've only watched a few of them. If you asked me a few years ago about anime, I would have said it's disgusting and everyone who likes it are furries. Nothing against them. But after watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, everything changed. Holy frick, guys. Anime can be really good. I'm not going to tell you to watch Dragon Ball Z or Naruto Shippuden. Both decent shows, but if you guys ever get a chance, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is amazing, and it's on Netflix. Sorry for the long email. Keep up the great work. Sent from mail on Windows 10.
I will say that I too started watching One Punch Man. That's my first anime.
People love that one.
That one's really BA. This may be a good time to tell you guys I started officially watching Rick and Morty too.
Ooh, where you at?
Episode 3, season 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the dog?
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah, that
you
one.
watching it on Hulu?
I'm watching it on my Blu-rays
Ah.
because I own them, John.
I'm sorry, Sean. I
all
should have known
John?
better.
I have a Blu-ray player.
I'm an a-hole. We now know this.
What are you written from Redbox?
Getting back to look, I ain't got nothing against anime.
I do.
It's not something that I can.
Frick anime.
One Punch Man,
But you've watched an anime,
John.
and you liked it a lot.
Avatar does not count.
No,
Castlevania was an
you are-
anime.
yeah.
Oh, please.
It was.
It was
Yeah, it's made by Japanese animators.
John. It was an anime.
Your face is an anime.
Thank you.
We all know this.
Some of them I enjoy. Some of them are kind of predictable, but I definitely understand why a lot of people like them. And as you say, like Dragon Ball Z will always have a special place in my heart. As far as what you said about Star Wars, I mean, I would love to just see an original story that is not tied to the movies, you know, kind of the way Knights of the Old Republic was. If they want to make another Knights of the Old Republic game, that's cool, but I don't want it tied to the first two ones with Revan and all that kind of stuff. I would just say go do your own thing, because I think like with Star Wars, it works best when you don't have to worry about the House of Mouse or LucasArts or whoever coming over and going, I don't like that. I don't like that because it's messing. Like you think of it like Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man, I think, worked as a game because pretty much Marvel said to Insomniac, here's this title. We trust you. Go off and make your own thing and let it be what it is. You know, even if it's not canon.
One of the most played Star Wars games that I ever did play, aside from the Super Nintendo title Star Wars games that came out, was the Phantom Menace PlayStation
podcast or Pod Racer one?
No, it was the Phantom Menace video game based on the movie. So you were running around, and I loved that game. I secretly like that movie too, but something like that would be really cool. Like if they went back and redid Star Wars games that were based on the movies, or maybe even redid the Super Nintendo games and released them like on a 16-bit like way, but made them, I don't know, cool again. I don't know.
John, you got any suggestions or hopes?
John hates Star Wars.
He wants one all about smoke.
I don't want a sequel necessarily. Anything. I just like a movie. I think we should do a solo Darth Vader game. Quick. I think it's time.
I think just walk around killing little kids.
Well, no, you can
there's a lot of stuff.
You can weigh the dynamic of vague choices in a game like that, where it could be the beginning of when he first becomes Darth Vader and he's still being sort of pulled back and forth. You can make something really interesting that way. Plus, get James Earl Jones while you can. So,
What does that mean?
he's getting up there.
He's like 90.
I don't want to live in a world where he's gone, but you know,
He's about to go out to his cornfield with
but
old
you
Ray,
know.
and
Simba.
Thanks, John.
he's going to go out there, baseball Ray, and that's what he's going to do. Watched that movie last week. Next up, we got Garrett. He says,
Garrett.
hey guys.
What's up, man?
Hey, Garrett.
Big fan of the show. I always look forward to hearing your podcast each week. It brings my week a little higher to the top of the notch board.
Yeah.
Congrats on almost getting to that 200 episode mark as well.
Thank you, sir.
Here's a question for you guys. If you could take one gaming system and 3 games on that system with you to heaven or whatever afterlife you believe in, if any, what would they be? Choose wisely, my friend. I would just... Man, that's a hard question.
No, it's not.
I'll go with. I will go with. I will go with PlayStation. You keep doing it.
John, I got to put it back in.
I'll go with PlayStation.
Shut up, Chris. I'm putting it back in, John.
Oh,
There it is.
I'll go with PlayStation 2, and I'll take with me GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, and actually, no, wait, screw that. I'll go with Xbox 360, and I will take the Mass Effect trilogy in its complete collector's edition that came out towards the end of it. I will take with me. Then it gets hard, right? I will take with me Gears of War 3, and I will take with me Halo 3. I will take those 3 things with me.
I'm taking my trusty Super Nintendo with Super Mario World.
Ooh.
Zelda, A Link to the Past. And just because I need to finally play it, Super Metroid.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, wait. Screw Halo 3. I'll take GTA 5 with me because it was on 360. Forgot about that. Now I get my... and screw Gears. I'm going to take Red Dead. I don't know why. My mind went blank on there. What about you, John?
Well, I have faith that I won't need any such contraptions in the presence of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But in case that doesn't happen, definitely the Super NES with, I believe, definitely A Link to the Past, definitely Super Metroid, the greatest game ever made. I don't know about Super Mario World. I do know about Super Mario All-Stars.
Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Maybe Castlevania 4.
You can only take 3, John.
Maybe Punch-Out. Maybe Super Golden Ghost.
That's a fun game.
Man, I need a minute.
It's the best system ever.
It
I'm
is.
telling you.
Hands down. Not even close.
Next up, Mozzie writes in from Australia. He says, "Good day, boys.
Did I?
What's up, Maz?
I'm not much of a writer, but I thought I'd give it a stab. I was wondering what your opinions on the Borderlands franchise are. Personally, I love the original, fell in love with Borderlands 2, and the pre-sequel was like a piece on the side.
Nice.
Some of the greatest
That's like
gaming
a side
memories I
piece.
have are playing the Borderlands 2 split screen with my beautiful wife.
Yo,
His
wife.
wife.
With Borderlands 3 on the verge of announcing, what are your hype levels? How into it are/were you?
Well,
Side note,
Girthy and base deep.
yeah, right.
What?
Thick and, long. Side note, I would really like to see what you guys look like. The disconnect voices things it does to my head. As people have said, I'm Tom Segura, and I think that got verified on the Twitch stream last night, right? Someone said, oh my God, you literally do look like him. Second side note, I just came back from the redneck road trip, trekking around the southern states in a minivan with the wife and the kids. I love the South, would happily live in Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, or Carolinas. I could see that for anyone who lives in Australia.
That's an awesome road trip if you come
Right?
from, because you think about it, Australia, the weather's already hot. You're down there in Australia and it's hot and muggy and everything.
Yeah.
So you come here and it doesn't
muggy desert.
it doesn't feel too different, I don't think, unless our muggy levels.
They're probably hotter temperature-wise, I would think, in some parts.
Yeah.
Third side note, I think I have an amazing idea for a game. I don't want to learn how to code. Where do I go? Ideally, this would be a Borderlands-themed game, but I expect Randy is busy for the likes of me. Love your work. What you do is you write it to us, and we will steal it. I mean, borrow it. I mean, sell it to someone, and
we will,
we'll send you a $20 check.
We'll probably soprano you.
Yeah. We need to go for a boat ride.
I think I have a couple of pictures that were professionally shot of us three back in the day. If I get Chris's approval or John's approval, I may put that on our Twitter so you guys can see what we look like. Even though
One
it
of
was a
those
couple years
might be
back.
the episode cover for 200 if I still have it somewhere.
Okay. If not, I think I can get it to you.
Okay.
And you took off the email, so that's all I got there, Mozzie, and thank you for the write-in.
But yeah, Borderlands, I think John, I would say Sean and I are definitely hyped. Maybe John will give it a go this time because I know he likes them loot games.
Yeah,
he played the Diablos.
That'd be a good Monday night game.
That would be the perfect Monday night game. Next up, Ever writes in. Old Ever writes in and says,
Ever?
"Hey guys, been a while.
Been aware.
Had a quick question about Division 2. I played the first Division solo up to a certain point. I think I got to level 16 when the max was 20. Max was 30 in that game.
Yeah,
there got a point in the game where the random enemies patrolling New York were too tough to casually solo in the game. Didn't feel like partnering up to finish the story, so I just stopped playing the Division. Instead, went back to Destiny.
Same here.
I played the open demo of Division 2 and didn't do much to me then. All this positive buzz has got me reconsidering purchasing the game. During the open demo, I did notice the enemies were a bit tough, but that was also because the crappy weapons the game gave out at the beginning of the game. Once the better guns dropped, blues and purples, I unlocked the ability to get attach good mods to my weapons. The game did seem a little bit more fun to play. In your opinion, can the Division 2 be played casually solo, or will I run into too many hard encounters for this? Keep up the great work, and until next time, peace.
Peace out to you, sir.
I wouldn't.
John's gonna say yeah because John has played the Division 2 a lot solo.
Yeah.
Chris has mainly played with other people, and I've mainly played with Chris and John. So
I'll say if you get the right setup, and as you said, like you get those higher guns, and you don't have you have the patience to sit behind cover and kind of take your time, and you're good at keeping tabs on your 6 at all times. You could in theory do it, but I think it's probably a game that first and foremost is designed to be played with friends.
Possibly. You can also check out us three played the Division 2 on Monday nights on Twitch.
Yeah.
As long as you embrace all the technology featured on your HUD, you'll be fine.
See,
You just
HUD is.
just watch what
What's a
it's
HUD?
telling you, particularly on your GPS radar. What really broke through for me on the game was watching the indicators on the top left corner.
Mm-hmm.
That just I don't get flanked anymore. I just
Yeah.
don't. So
Except for last night, you got flanked then.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, John, you're gonna die, and you're like, oh no, and then you died, and I was like, poor John.
Not fair.
we're talking about solo.
Oh, okay. Okay. You don't care about when you're playing with other people. You're like, they'll protect me. Wrong. Next up, Sean apparently wrote a false spelling of Sean and wrote in and he said, hey guys, Sean here once again.
Hey, Sean.
You could just tell us this stuff personally.
That's not me.
Oh. You guys have talked about how games are becoming more and more on the digital side these days. And last week, you guys talked about what Google is in hopes to achieve in the near future. But I just wanted to know if you guys ever played the Sega channel back in the day. I looked back at it and realized it was our first glimpse of streaming service. My dad loved that he didn't have to take me to Funkoland. Wow, there you go. Or EB Games every other weekend. Once again, thank you guys for the great podcast and Game On.
I don't know
I don't know
anything
what
about
this-
what
yeah.
a
So Sega
Sega
Channel is kind of similar to that one dude wrote in where there was that one Zelda game that like most people haven't played that they had in Japan that was on the channel thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same thing. Like you would subscribe to this channel thing, and like you'd have a certain amount of time to go play certain games. Like it'd be like, okay, from 8 to 9, you can play this Sega game. I think you had to pay for the service, and might have actually had to pay when you were using it too. But it was definitely like both Nintendo and them. They were definitely experimenting. How can we get more games to you early on, right, and make money off of you?
Give that man his money.
Let's look at the time here. Where are we at? We'll do one more for this week, and then, or actually, no, wait. We've only got 2 emails left, so if they're not too long, dang it. And of course, it's too long. Hold on. Maybe we'll do this one. Yeah, there we go. Dano writes in, and he says, hello, guys.
What's up, Dano?
Hey.
Hope you're all well. Game on to all of you. Just a quick one. Just a quick one. Any chance when you do your weekly reviews, you can mention which platform you played the game on? Love your reviews and always had a hard time deciding which platform to buy on. P.S. Are you into fighting games? And if so, will you be picking up Mortal Kombat 11? And did you get Dead or Alive 6? Which platform would you recommend the game or I get the former on? Thanks again, guys, and game on. As far as
Game
this
on,
week,
sir.
I believe if you're wondering for this week, I think both John and Sean got on Xbox. I got on PlayStation. I like Fromsoftware games on the PlayStation controller. That's just me. And I think Division we all got on PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, if it's an online game that I know I'm definitely going to want to play with people, I'll get it on PS4 because that's where everybody's going to play. But unless it's an exclusive to the console, I want my games to look the best, so I typically get them on Xbox One X.
Yeah, Sekiro is like the first non-online game that I've got on PlayStation.
But you had a specific reason for it.
Yeah, and that's just because
I haven't tried Sekiro on PS4. I can imagine that it is better.
Yeah,
Much better.
I would suggest you just because that to me the
Kinda kicking
PlayStation
myself.
the PlayStation 4 controller has better shoulder buttons if you ask me, whereas the Xbox
Agreed.
has better triggers.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can change the controls if you want in the game, but I prefer it that way. But I would say I like fighting games, but they're definitely not the center of my world now because really, I think they were more something I personally was into, like in college and high school, because I'd have a lot of friends around, or my early 20s, all the time. But now all my friends are old and they have wives and kids, so they really can't come around to play, which means that a lot of times if I want to play these games, I have to go online and play them. And the fighting world online is just
Smash Bros. Jesus,
yeah.
did I do it again?
Yeah, you did.
Smash Bros, man. That's the one.
That's been the only one I've been. That's the last fighting game I played, Dana, was Smash Bros. And I may eventually pick up Mortal Kombat 11. I have no interest in Dead or Alive. Haven't played any of them.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do I read this last one?
No, let's save it.
Okay, because it's really long.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a good one. We'll save it. And
but he's got the official name of the podcast. If you know what your name is, you might be able to figure out. Well, you probably could also figure out. We'll save it for next week, though. Great title, though. Sean, people write us on Twitter. What'd they write us?
yeah, well, the first one I liked. First of all, I gotta let you know, Chris, that when you're putting out our episode, it's just hashtag Game On. Don't @ Game On, because that's a whole nother thing. And then people were replying to it, and it's just a mess. But last week you put that we were.
Did you just tell me?
Yeah, I did, because you didn't do it right. We were doing our Division 2 episode, and at Lavernius Tuck 2 basically said, yeah, boys, his Richard was good and ready. He was fully prepared to make jokes about the game ripping off Fallout 3, which is his favorite of all time due to it being in DC. But after watching my boy Chris's stream on the Twitch, he can't get himself to diss the game, so that's what's up.
There we go.
Yeah, for the next couple of Mondays, that's probably going to be the game we play together out there if you guys want to come listen and see stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
S10 Driving Kelly also said the game is so good, it's got me hooked big time. Can't stop playing whenever he gets a chance. So there's that. Let me scroll up. There was something else that I wanted to say that's pretty funny. If I can find it. It was y'all can say something to help me out. My thumb only goes so fast. Or
No.
Just let me drown. It's
now
fine.
you know how I feel.
Drown.
This is fantastic.
Expectations.
Drown. Blub, blub, blub.
Failure.
Where was it at?
Hashtag letdown.
Did I?
Hashtag
so
game
at
on.
Morty_McFly,
Ooh,
so
I see what you did there.
driving through Columbus at Weekly Games Chat, screaming, "Your mom's box getting a lot of looks." So that's fantastic. Our good friend Hydraberg sent a picture to us on the Twitter saying that he had found a huge alligator in the sewers in Division 2.
Yeah,
Shot
I
it.
saw that.
Nothing happened. Still cool, though. And game on to you, sir.
It is a swamp.
At Band in Namki? Bandai Namki, maybe?
Okay.
I think they're, we say Bandai Namco. You have to play on that. At Weekly Game Chat, what's good, you freaking Richards? It's me, Daniel from New York, the guy who forgets to download and listen to the show and just says hi every 6 months. Hi. Anyways, miss you guys. I hate Dark Souls, and that's pretty much it. I'll write again. I'll write again soon. Game on. 999.
Game on.
9. Is that it? I think that might be it. No, this is great. This is actually a great question. So at Tyrannosaurus said at Weekly Games Chat, so now you guys have a Twitch channel. Does this mean Resident Evil 7 VR with Sean?
That's all he posted.
It most certainly might. You guys might like that.
That'd be hilarious.
I think we had a.
I would have told you to come over here and we will set that up, and I will gladly just sit back and laugh.
So at C Garcia T13 direct messages just us on the Twitter and asked us if we were in, and that was the Mayhem of Mass teaser trailer for Borderlands. And as you know, we clearly talked about that, and we are pretty excited to possibly play that game. I'm now going to transition over to any new followers before I give this microphone back to Christopher full time. In the back row 1, thank you for the follow, following you back. At James_Preslin, thank you for the follow, following you back. Mm-hmm. At I need to say your name right. At Gamer Time Shows, official Twitter account of the Gamer Time Podcast, thank you for the follow, following you back. And last one, Bandai Namco, thank you for the follow, following you back.
Interesting.
Pretty fun. So, yeah, thank you guys so much. You're going to hear about all the ways to find us and how to see us now. So, here's Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 198 of Weekly Games. Of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever podcast service you use, and you will get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday for your amusement. If while you're there, you really like the show, make sure you give us a review or rating. It helps people find the show. 5 stars is preferred, but, be honest, we won't go through the whole spiel for this, because now I have to also talk about the fact that we have a Discord. Discord is out there. The link for it is on our Twitter page, which is also Weekly Games Chat. And I believe I also put it on the Facebook page too. So there's a link on there. If for some reason it does not work, please send us a private message and I will let you know. I will give you a fresh link to the Discord, and I will update the link.
Love a fresh link. There's nothing better than a fresh link.
Finally, we also now have a Twitch channel, which you can subscribe to if you want. It's twitch.tv/Weekly Games Chat. That's twitch.tv Weekly Games Chat, all one word, no spaces. And if you do that, you will see whenever I go live. And as a bonus, every Monday at 8 p.m., at the very least, I will be on, but I think for the most part, also at least one, if not both of these guys will also be joining me in whatever is being streamed for just fun and conversations, or for things like Division 2, where we can just get together and partner up and go through missions and see how it goes. Seems like the perfect online game.
It's a chance. Chris said subscribe. You can also just follow us, man.
Yes,
just
please
be
follow.
there. It's a chance to live, at the moment, interact with us, and we'll
live with us at the moment.
Live with us at the moment, John. I said that just now. Live with us.
I was like, what's
live
live
with us
with
in
us?
the moment, and we will answer your things that you say to us and stuff.
Hilarious. Until next time, though, I will simply just say, game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris, and game on, Sean.
Game on, John.
You realize that it's 8 o'clock. We could go so many places for dinner.
I'm so
I don't know how the hell we pulled this off.
I do.
Like, we had a long part, and then I thought, there's no way we're going to recover because our news usually takes a while. But we went pretty quick this week.
It was efficient.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike this ending.
Oh, yeah. You know what I say now?
What?
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
Eh.